All right. So, good afternoon, everybody. All right. So, my name is Akil. I will be presenting today. I will be presenting a little bit about Navisworks. One of the key features of Navisworks manage or simulate or either one. Okay. So if you guys got this software on in your AEC collection, so you may have this Autodesk Navisworks Manage 2020, 2019. Okay, but if you guys only got this Autodesk Navisworks Manage, you can still do whatever I'm going to show you today. And this feature for today, this feature is about how we're going to run the simulations of this model, okay, and how we're going to link if there are any external database from Excel or Microsoft Project or Primavera, so any work program related to your project or construction project. So before we begin, so let me start with a little bit on introduction on Navisworks, okay, and what are the common user interface that we're going to be using throughout this webinar. Right, so thank you for all participants for joining these sessions. Okay, and to begin with, you will see in Autodesk Navisworks, the user interface is quite user-friendly, even though we've got many features. We've got menus here, but just so you know, Navisworks is not a modeling software. So Navisworks is a management software for, especially for construction and for manufacturing. Okay, and to load models, why people are using Navisworks? Because Navisworks is quite lighter compared to the other modeling software. You can open many file formats that's supported by Navisworks. For instance, if you want to open any file, so you can see there are so many file formats that Navisworks can open directly. Includes Revit, SketchUp, SolidWorks, or any particular file that you wish to have this. So any common modeling software usually will be here, okay? But for any specific third-party software that may not be listed here, so it could be a way that we can use. There will still be a way to use Navisworks by converting to DWG and so on, right? So why we are using Timeliner in Navisworks, because normally people would do work program using Excel. People will be using like a Microsoft Project and also Primavera and so on, okay? And those software are good for project managers, but if you have the right 3D models created, let's say by Revit or AutoCAD 3D or Inventor or whatever modeling that you have modeled it perfectly, you may want to link that models with your work program. So Navisworks is the right software to do so, so that whatever progress that has been stated in the work program saying that 20% progress. So in here we will show whatever 20% is about, right? And Navisworks, to work well with Navisworks, you should understand how we're going to manage your selection tree and also sets. Okay. So for your information, selection tree is being automatically generated based on the modeling files that you imported in. For instance, if you use the Plant 3D, AutoCAD 3D, Revit, so you will be having a different set of selection tree. It could be by levels, it could be by layers, and it could be by objects or groups or things that you have been done in the modeling software. So different software could have different appearance in the selection tree. But most importantly, if you want to work well with Navisworks Timeliner, okay, you should know how to run the sets. Okay, so why we use sets? Because in here, if you see, if I select this object in the selection tree, so I'm selecting some of the features object, but the way we are selecting is not based on the the way we are selecting is not based on the sequence. Okay, that's the reason why I'm shifting into sets so that we can actually select model based on our preferences. Okay, for instance, if you want to do a sequence by from bottom to top, let's say starts from foundations, structure level 1, column, and then level 2, and so on. So these things applies to customize the way you select models. And once we have customized the way we selected the models, so we can bring this selection sets into our timeliner so that we can also link that customized sets into our timeliner. And as you can see, there are main features in the Navisworks that we have here. We have the class objective, we have the timeliner, quantification, rendering, animated scripter, and so on. And we are not going to touch this class objective. We'll just focus on timeliner. So this is what you're going to see. This thing can be docked down here. Sorry. Right. So let's say I have this object, I have these drawings. This may not be a proper buildings, but this method that I'm going to show is applicable for any types of buildings that you guys will be using. So if I have this kind of building or platform, so the way I convert or transfer the selection tree items or selection sets item into timeliner is just by right click at the timeliner at the task, okay, and you can simply use this auto add task, and you can use click at this for every topmost item. So the list that will be appear here, or the task that will be appear here, is similar with the list that you see in the selection tree. So these are the things that we are not going to use, because those things that you are listing here is not following the right sequence. So I'm going to return back to the empty task, okay, and I'm going to auto add task using the for every set, and you will see the way we see all the tasks here is similar with what are the sequence that we set in the selection sets. And automatically, by default, it will start with a name or a task name, and then you can define which one is the plan date, plan start date, okay, and the plan end date. And also, if you are the one is monitoring the project, so you might as well need to put the actual start dates and actual end dates. So these things would allow this software generates the right Gantt charts that you can see on the right side of this toolbar. Okay, and this Gantt chart is very useful. For instance, if I want to let's say I want to start everything is about 2 days. So let's say let's put a gap of a week. Okay. Okay. So if I change the dates here, you will see the Gantt chart is automatically changed the way it looks. Okay. And if it happens that you change everything throughout the list of the task list, you can see the Gantt chart is also improving and adjusting following the dates that you stated, right? So for instance, so these things usually can be done simply by using Excel, or you can simply by using Microsoft Project, and also you can also use your Primavera if you have used to it. Okay, but it's not limited to that. You can always bring that data into Navisworks. Yeah, let's say let me finish this up first. Let's say let me give that, let's say, a week gap for all these projects. Okay, what I did is I'll just copy the dates and set into right. Okay, so you can put any dates here. Okay, you can pick the dates from the calendar, or you can also simply copy and paste from the previous date stated, and you can adjust from the calendar here. Okay. All right. It's just going to be quick, really, really quick. Okay. And now, once I have stated all the dates clearly, let's say we do it for rest of the, let's say until from today until, let me see, the end date is around mid of May. Okay, and you will see the Gantt chart is updated following the dates that you mentioned here. And if the project is having, let's say you plan it delay or ahead of, let's say whatever date that you plan, you can also create a comparison date by entering the actual date. So I'm not going to show that actual dates and actual end today, but the process is just the same. You can just put any dates. Let's say the project is supposed to be started at 20th of January, but it was delayed and it started a week after. So you can just put any dates just to make sure it has the right actual start and date, actual start and actual end. So it will appear, let's say the program is started late, let's say 3 days late, okay, and then actual end is, let's say, is also a bit delayed, okay. And you will see if I show the plan versus actual date, and you will see the Gantt chart is automatically updated and mention there is a delayed progress in the program. Okay, so you will easily track any progress for your projects, and then you can easily get to know which parts is delayed and which. So the progress, the work program may not be as simple as this for a real project, but this is just for you to know what are the basic features of this. But the progress, the way you enter the days or the way you control everything is just the same, right? So let's say we have done these entering dates for plan start and plan end, and you have seen clearly that this Gantt chart is updated following what are you stating in the plan start and plan end. And there is a simulate up here, and which you can do settings, okay? And for simulating this building, before we do any kind of setting, you have to make sure, if you look at the task panel, you have to check whether all objects are attached. Okay, so let's see here in the attached column, you will see all the items that you set here is based on whatever selection sets that you chose here. Okay, okay, and please make sure all the models are attached, because without this method, you cannot see any simulations, or you cannot see any explode animation and so on. So this could be very important to see. And the way we control our simulation is by going to the simulate button and then go to setting, and then you will see if the start date is having the same start date as our actual end date also. And you can pick whether you want to choose any type of intervals size. Let's say you want to do it very, very slowly. Okay, you can go with, like, say 1, for instance. And also you can go with percents, you can go with weeks, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. So possibly you are not going to use minutes and hours, okay, or seconds. It's really far from the way we use in our industry. But you can always choose percent, or you can always use by days, so that whenever you got to attend a meeting, let's say for collaboration meeting or any progress meeting, weekly meeting. So you can simply show the simulation, what have been done throughout the whole weeks, okay, by weeks or by days and so on. So let's say I'm going to go through by days, for instance, and I will set the interval by, let's say by 3 days, okay, and then the playback duration, let me prolong the duration by 60 seconds, okay, so that the simulation won't go that fast. And we can actually link any type of animation that we created in Navisworks. Okay, for your information, Navisworks can do any type of animation. If you want to do, if you were familiar with 3ds Max, if you were familiar with, let's say, any products, any 3D modeling that can do animation like 3ds Max, SketchUp, Maya, and so on. So Navisworks can do the same thing, and even better because you can link that animation straight away into your work program. For instance, I created an animation from my safe viewpoint, and what I'm going to be simulating is the plane. You can choose either you want to show plane simulation, or you can choose plane again actual if you have all the data, and also we can choose to show actual or actual plane differences. So let me show the plan first, and then you will see if I click OK, okay, and if I run the play button, so if I pull it down a little bit, so this is how we're going to run this simulation in Autodesk Navisworks. So it looks easy, and it's not really hard actually. To be honest, if you have the right data on you, you have the right dates, you have the right work program, so things that will be go very, very quickly, but you need to know how we're going to attach those models into the right work program or task. So if you pick the wrong thing, so wrong things will be appear. So make sure you understand how we attach those models or those particular objects into your selection sets. So that's the thing that I think most importantly before we go for any kind of simulation. So if you can see, it goes smoothly from bottom to top, and it follows exactly what are the sequence that we set from the selection sets. So you can see the difference, and you can always play backward, okay? Or you can stop, you can play again, okay? And you can also export this to, let's say you want to make it into animation video format. You can use this Windows AVI, okay, and then use the right pixels, okay, width and height, and make sure your computer is strong enough to do this animation rendering, because it's gonna take a very long time. It's gonna take hours, okay. So you can give a try to export these animations into your own particular capacity, okay. Okay, hold on. So with all this, for this information that we have here, okay, you will see there is a, once we have managed to set all the 4Ds, now we're going to jump into our costing information. So 5D is all about costing. So you can see, let's say if I turn off the, yes, Gantt chart here. So you can see more features that we have here. And let's say you want to show any costing information. Okay, so if you want to add more columns, okay, let's say you don't want to see any actual for now, and also you don't want to see any attached model, okay, but all you need to know, all you want to see is about costing information that you're going to put it inside this work program. So let me try to load, let's say you want to show the material cost or labor cost or equipment costs or any subcontractor costs, okay? And with this costing data that you're going to put in, you can actually sort it down based on the column position. For instance, if you want the total cost to be the end of the column, So you can click move down, okay, and then you will see if I click OK, all those columns for costing, for material costing, labor cost, equipment cost, subcon cost, and total cost will be listed in this work program. So once you did all the simulations, so if you want to add more information about costing, before that, let me check this setting. So you will see there is a overlay text that you can show. So let's say I want to show, let's say let me put some colors in red, and let me pick, for instance, I want to pick the total cost for particular days, okay, for instance. So okay, and I'm going to go back to this. So let's say I'm having, you can key in all information here. Okay, so let's say for 10,000, 8,000. Okay, this is for instance, you can put the right value for your project. Okay, so you can see if I randomly put the costing information, you can see the way it calculates these things for you is, you know, the way it shows the total cost is by adding all material costs, labor costs, equipment costs, and subcon costs, and it will automatically calculate for you the total cost. Okay, and let's say let me randomly put this. Okay, for now. Okay, okay, so it may not be the right way, the right costing. Okay, it's just for this purpose, for this webinar purpose. So let me show you a little bit more on this. All right, sorry. Okay, so let's say you have some costing information. Okay, and then if I want to show you the simulate, okay, and you will automatically see it in the red line of text, it will have the value of your costing information. So let's say I'm playing the play button, so it shows exactly the total cost for each day, each particular day, based on the day and days that's mentioned on the top left, right? Okay, so you will see the cost is added based on the data that you provided in the task menu. Okay, and you can also bring this out to your pictures. You can bring this out as a video. Okay, and that's what Navisworks can do with all this costing. So okay, so I've got questions from Mr. Hamada saying that how about case data from Revit? So unfortunately, I cannot show you how we're going to, because I don't have the right data from Revit currently. But for Mr. Hamada, you can drop me an email and I will respond you on that after this. I will share you my email address after this. Okay, and I will show you to you exactly how we're going to extract those data from Revit. So the one that I show today is generally on how we're going to link, how we're going to work on data that you key in manually, or if you have, let's say, you have the data source from Microsoft projects, okay, or Excel file, so you can always use this data source and add CSV import here, and you can always import to this, click open, and then you can define the task name. Let's say the task name is by name. Okay, let me find, yeah, this name. And you have to match the external field name to Navisworks column name. So display ID would be the same. Let's say we are choosing the same ID, and task type. We have this task type here, the same one. Sorry, display ID. Display ID, task type, and also synchronization ID, plan start date, plan start and plan end. Okay, actual start, you can also set as actual start and actual end. Okay, and also costing information, if you have any material costs, labor costs, okay, equipment costs, and also subcontractor costs. Okay, so if I click OK on this, so I'm actually bringing the data from the Excel file, okay? And let's say I'm deleting all the current, okay? And what I'm gonna be doing is we'll click at this, the newly added data source from external files, and reboot file hierarchy, and click OK. And you will see the one that we added from CSV file will be automatically linked into our Termini. And most importantly, the one that you set, let's say you have stated the dates and also the cost information and so on. So we'll also be following whatever things that you link from the external data. Okay, and from this point onwards, we can repeat this the way that we we control the plan start and plan end, and also we can control the simulation settings and from this point. Okay, so that's basically what is actually can be done by Navisworks manage with these timeline features. So from this point, we can actually just I show you now is the one that we did is extracting models. Okay, so if you prefer to see how we're going to extract those costing data from Revit, so you can actually drop me an email. Okay, right, so this is my email, so you can also contact me through WhatsApp. Okay, and you can also always call us at our office numbers. Okay, and feel free to okay, feel free to attend our website for more information. And if you want to watch again this session, you can simply go to our Facebook page and you can still watch this live session recorded here. Okay, and then don't forget to visit our website for any next events scheduled for this month and next month. So hopefully you guys can got all this knowledge and information just for free. Okay, and for that, if you guys have any questions, you can drop me an email, and also you can chat me here. Okay, and before we end our session, let me run a poll so that I will know what's your background. So feel free to enter this in your screen. What is your background? So I will know exactly who have been watching these webinars. So we've got an architect here. Okay, so if you are the engineers, contractor, project managers, or if you are the M&E engineers, subcontractors, just a background checking a little bit on your discipline. Okay, so if you guys need to know more about other software, if you guys need to know in particular how to do this and in that, and then how to do let's say your customized workflow and all that. So feel free to contact us and me particularly, so that I can advise you on what is the best workflows and solutions provided by Autodesk. Okay, and hopefully we can keep in touch in our next webinar session or workshop session. So thank you guys for joining this session. So hope to see you guys in the next event. Thank you very much. Bye.